inspirational music, relevant messages, and testimonies from others who have already found hope, then we encourage you to visit the second annual My Hope Conference, October 7th through 9th at Hickson First Baptist Church. Free admission and childcare is provided for kids up to pre-K, while those in kindergarten through 5th grade will attend the Kids Hope Rally. For more info, visit myhopeconference.com or call Hickson First Baptist Church at 423-877-2467.
We know fall is coming in because as we see it right now, it's still pretty, it's the sunrise is kind of peeking through. So that means that we are rolling into fall, which I am certainly ready about because Lord knows that I was so hot yesterday when I went down to Miller Park, and we're going to start off today talking about that. But one of the reasons I want to talk about what's going on here in the city of Chattanooga, as far as this continual spending that I see happening in my city, no taxpayer accountability coming from our legislative branch, which is our city council, as well as our county commission, or the executive, which is our county and city mayor. The question that I have for the first part of the segment this morning, because I'm going to be on from 8 to 10 today, the first question that I have for you, the dear listener, is anybody ever going to stand up to the mayor, or is Chattanooga his kingdom? For Mayor Coppinger and then for Mayor Burke, is the city of Chattanooga like their kingdoms, especially for Burke? Is the city of Chattanooga his kingdom? He gets to decide everything that he wants, even though, again, I go back, if you look at the annual financial report from the city of Chattanooga, I'm telling you, go look at it, because I just want to encourage the listener. You have to do your due diligence. So I can do the work. David Toulis can do the work, and you should be listening to David as well as me. We can do the work all day long, but at the end of the day, you have to have this information as well. Stop being lazy. Get up off of your butt. Well, you really don't even have to do that, right? Because you have a cell phone. The majority of us have cell phones. So it's absolutely no excuse for somebody to act like they don't know or they haven't heard. Because if you're tuning into Nooga Radio 92.7, and let me just tell you right now, I'm streaming live on Facebook. So if you're not able to listen by the airwaves, please tune in to Nooga Radio 92.7 FM on the Facebook page. Drop a comment. Let me know that you're listening. Wake your neighbors up and tell them that they need to tune in as well. Because we have to have a conversation. That's what my show is always about. Some people say, Marie, you're just screaming into the mic. I get passionate about things. I'm not here to yell at you. I'm not your coach. I'm here to help. I'm here to make a platform for the honest, earnest things in the city of Chattanooga, because I'm not living in a dream world. I'm not living in a fantasy world. I'm living in the real world. I hope you are there with me in the real world. And we have to have an honest talk about one thing. And we're going to cover that. Debt, taxpayer accountability. I've talked a little bit about it before when I covered atmchat.com by Helen Burns Sharp. If you are not up on that, I need you to go to that website, favorite it, save it, go back, look at the information. She goes over pilots, which are payment in lieu of taxes. Okay. TIFs, tax incremental financing. She goes over the surplus buildings that the mayor has been trying to get the city council to give him control over so that he can sell those. She goes over a lot on that website, and you, the listener, need to be up on that website. Why? Even if you don't even live in the city of Chattanooga, it's great information and understanding that you need to have, so you can make sure that wherever you live, whether it's Soddy Daisy, whether it's Dunlap, whether it's Cleveland, wherever you live, that you can, at the least, you can ask those questions, because hopefully you go to your city council meetings. I hope so, wherever you are. I hope you go to your city council meetings. I hope, if it's possible, you go to your county commissioner meetings. I hope that you ask questions, right? Because this is your money. This is your family's money. This is your neighbor's money. And you need to know how every single penny of your dollars is being spent. Come on. So let me just start off the show right now with a quote. A man in debt is so far a slave. A man, we'll just even say a woman, make it relevant to the times. A man or woman in debt is so far as a slave. That's by Ralph Waldo Emerson. Is anybody going to stand up to the mayor? Y'all know what it is? The calling number is 800-8949 if you want to call and chop it up with me and talk to me. Good morning, Robert Mapp. Good morning. I see you on Facebook. Man, so yesterday, we've been, the city of Chattanooga has been working on Miller Park since 2017, or about a year. And it was quite interesting. You see, part of the reason why you got to show up to things like this is so you could listen to what is said. So Bert got up, of course, with his, you never see him at the city council meetings, which is quite interesting. If you didn't listen the other day when I talked about what are the responsibilities of city council, let me just quickly tell you that Chattanooga has a strong mayor, weak city council government. But still, that does not, when I say that, that does not legitimately mean that the mayor is above the city council. The mayor is in all actuality a member of city council. Now, the mayor is responsible for proposing a budget of his own or her own if we had a lady. And then the council has the ability to either accept it or reject it or portions of it. And unfortunately, what we do not see, and I don't know if you guys have been listening, if you guys listen to the Kavanaugh confirmations, we live in a time where people feel like you got to be either or, that you can't hear great things from anybody on any side. Ben Sass, I don't know if I'm saying his last name correctly, who's a Republican, made some of the most remarkable statements during the Kavanaugh confirmation. And one of the things that he talked about was how lazy our legislative branch, which is something that I covered as well, how lazy our legislative branch in America in general has become. That our legislative branch, which is the first article of the Constitution as far as branches of government are concerned, is really supposed to be the battleground of where we have that fight, where we have the differences. We hash out conversations where sometimes it gets muddy, it gets nasty, without being disrespectful, but that people have opposing ideas. You see, the problem with living in 2018 is that people always want to put somebody in a box, and I don't subscribe to boxes very, very well. Never have, probably never will. Right? If y'all met my mother, Rebecca Mott, she would tell you that I came out of the womb with my fist up because I'm just that type of person where I color outside the lines, because especially when people say that I can't do that. Oh, yeah, I'm definitely coloring outside the lines. I don't subscribe to group thought, group think. I'm able to listen to people of all sides and hopefully try to see the valid points, because that's value of information. I don't believe one group of people have all the answers. I believe that's what makes America great, is hopefully us recognizing as well as respecting the valuable differences of one another. And if it's anchored in factual, intelligent information, not opinion. Everybody has opinion. That doesn't mean it's true, and it doesn't mean that it helps. Plenty of people have opinions. So I'm talking about the truth, which is inevitably, you just can't fight the truth. It is what it is. The truth is powerful enough to stand on its own. And even though he was a Republican, he told the truth. Our legislative branch in every faction of government, from municipal to state to federal, is absolutely lazy, absolutely lazy, and puts and shucks the responsibility onto executive. And then if the executive branch doesn't want to get anything done for the American people, the only discourse that we have is to continuously go and petition the court systems to give us fairness and justice. And if that is the case, this is the thing, justice is supposed to be a blind situation. Justice is the Article 3, meaning that you start with the legislative. And that's where I believe 90% of people should be able to have all of their questions, answers, and problems addressed, is on that ground floor level. And you only go up to the second level when the first level just has no way of helping you. The executive is that next step. And legitimately, we should have a very, very, very small portion of cases, of instances, of problems that make it to the court steps. Why? Because first of all, justice is supposed to be blind. It shouldn't even be about bipartisanship. It shouldn't be about Republican. It shouldn't be about Democrat, progressive, leftism. It should be about what does the law state in the form of the Constitution. And that's the only thing, not case law, not opinions, not landslide events. What does the Constitution say? And the people in the robes are going to uphold the constitutional provision that we have on paper. Plain. Nothing more, nothing less. But unfortunately, we've turned the judicial branch into bipartisan political appointments. The executive and the legislative are just clogged and lazy. And who is really on the side of the people? If you want to talk to me about it, call me 800-8949. But the lazy legislative branch is exactly how we continue to have problems here in the city of Chattanooga. The mayor is nowhere to be found. The mayor doesn't come to city council meetings. And I can tell you why. At the end of the agenda, you have the ability to address the council, and the council should answer any of the problems that you have. That's part of the First Amendment, to redress your grievances. First of all, to not prohibit your speech, to allow you to have freedom of speech and to protest what you do not like, but as well as to redress your grievances. That's the First Amendment. And so it becomes a problem when all of the people who should be representative of the people don't even show up to the community meeting. Because to me, legitimately, that's what a council meeting should be, is a community meeting. And maybe that's why people don't come. Maybe that's why people stop coming. Because we go, but then you have people like former Attorney Wade Hinton, as well as new City Attorney Noblet, who are doing unconstitutional provisions within the city council meeting by saying you can only speak 2 times a month, which the last time I checked, that is a violation of my First Amendment rights, which says that my freedom of speech as well as protest should not be restricted. And that even further than that, my legislative branch has a responsibility to redress my grievances, which is to hear my problems and hopefully be intelligent and caring enough to do something about it. But I guess we don't live in a constitutional republic as we should. Maybe we live in a democracy, which Thomas Jefferson stated was a mob rule. $10+ million on Miller Park. All of the trees gone. Nowhere for the homeless. Nowhere for the people. Because this is the South, you guys. It was hot yesterday. And not only is it just hot here, the humidity makes it worse. So not only when you're hot, are you generally hot, but you're sweaty. Shade makes a difference. And it was funny while I was videoing yesterday at Miller Park, a guy walks past because I got in one tree that only had shade. And he says, "Man, you got the one tree that has shade." And I felt some type of way on the inside because what that said to me was the poor people who are downtown now, we should already be honest enough to know that the police department is not going to let them sit on that pretty plush lawn too long, especially when the mayor said that the thing that he wanted to see happen on that lawn is people eating sandwiches and playing soccer. So we took a park that shaded and protected people who are homeless, people who are without, people who are poor from the sun. We took that and just made another playground for people downtown at the expense of the poor. And one of the things that I don't want you, the listener, to forget, or maybe you didn't know, I find it interesting that Burke said yesterday, he made a lot of statements. Yesterday, he said that he could not have done this without the city council. Are we living in a city where the mayor gets to just do whatever he wants? Whatever he wants to see happen in the city of Chattanooga. We don't have to have a public meeting about it. According to him, there were public meetings over a year. I never got invited to one of those. Never heard about any of those. If you went, please inform me by calling me at 800-8949. But I don't recall any of those meetings. But he said that he could. Oh, somebody calling in already. Good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning. Talk to me.
Marie, I know you have thousands of listeners, evidenced by Facebook and ratings and whatever. And, how often do they pick up the phone and call you? You see the comments on Facebook and the texts and the emails, but do people really care? Maybe the radio station should just play mindless music like every other station. You're trying to do their work for them. Do they call and say, thank you for doing this hard work? But on top of that, Miller Park, your radio station was there a couple of years ago after the shooting of our military heroes, and Timothy White killed the terrorist. He got him. And over his head hung the threat of prosecution. So your radio station went to Miller Park to protest in favor of Timothy White. And some of the homeless came over that were veterans and grabbed signs in favor of Timothy White. It was amazing. But your mayor is trying to, he's trying to turn Seattle or Chattanooga into Seattle. That's what he wants. Little bike. We need roads fixed here. We need the roads fixed. We need transportation has become terrible. Talk about traffic backups. And no, we'd rather have little bike paths. We want little bike paths. We want pretty little parks. I hate when people cut down trees. I hate it. Talk about, like you said, shade. If you're going to do this, where are the people without means going to go in a thriving city? Look how New York kind of ruined their city. That used to be an amazing metropolitan area. It's become sterile. Thank you for your hard work.
Mr. Constitution himself, Mike, still calling in. Good question. I do have people who occasionally would call and give me and David some love and some appreciation, or chop it up with us, talk to us about whatever it is that we're covering. But it's interesting that I see that depending on the subject, I have quite a bit of views. Depending on some, I might not have a whole lot. But people will comment, but very few people call. And it leads me to question and leads me to wonder, do you really care about the city? Do you care about what's going on? Do you really, are you really concerned about how your dollars are spent? Can you even legitimately account for how your dollars are spent? Do you care that your mayor and your city council get to make decisions about your life? And the reality is that when we think about these things, the bigger cost is really not for this generation and may not be too much for my generation, but legitimately for my children. And for some of you, your grandchildren or your great grandchildren. The burden of what is being built and being spent now is going to be placed on their shoulders. And have we not learned our lesson here in America that every time we have a financial crisis, the time in between the financial collapse is shorter? Have we not learned our lesson that the way that we got out of the 2008 financial crisis was to continue to print more money that we don't have and to continue to put people on more credit? I don't believe in the saying, if you build it, they will come. The problem is, and we're going to get into it on the second half of the first segment, is that we are living on borrowed time. And a lot of us, even our cities, we are building beyond our means. But the biggest thing is that why are we allowing this to happen? Who's going to fight back? Anybody? I hope you guys are tuning in. Wake up, wake up, wake up, city of Chattanooga. Let's get busy about starting a local economy. That's the only way. Y'all continue to tune in for the second half of the first segment, because we're going to talk about it and we're going to go in. Will anybody stand up to Chattanooga's mayor? Or is this just his kingdom and his playground where he gets to move all the things around in his benefit? Stay tuned.
3, 2, 1.
Chattanooga Radio. Digital FM 95.3 HD4. 92.7 FM's news now.
A special thanks to our brave first responders working through some terrible conditions. This includes Tennessee linemen ready for action as Florence slams the coast. Close to 200 elected linemen from across the state of Tennessee are on their way to the coast. The various municipalities involved include Athens, Murfreesboro, and Tullahoma. Airbnb offering short-term vacation rentals for free to evacuees through its Open Homes program. The offer will end October 1st. If you're visiting from an affected area, just check your app. And a judge this week denied a death row inmate's efforts to block his October 11th execution by reviving a federal lawsuit. The move brings added urgency to a separate lethal injection challenge pending with the Tennessee Supreme Court, reports the Tennessean. Edmund Zagorski set to be executed. He's convicted of shooting and slitting the throats of his victims in Robertson County. Val St. John for Nooga Radio, News Talk 92.7, Action News now.
Sean Hannity, weekday afternoons from 3 to 6 p.m. on Nooga Radio 92.7 FM.
Nooga Radio 92.7.
Get 8.1% on your money, guaranteed in writing. That's right. Get 8.1% return on your money at Rick Davis Gold and Diamonds. American Gold Eagle Bullion will return you 8.1% on your money. That's right. Get 8.1% return on your money at Rick Davis Gold and Diamonds. American Gold Eagle Bullion will return you 8.1% on your money at Rick Davis Gold and Diamonds, Brainerd Road, Chattanooga.
Let's face it, Old Faithful isn't as faithful as it used to be. Constant repairs are a hassle and can rack up quick in money and time. Landers McClarty Ford can fix that. Right now, you can get a 2016 Ford Focus, 34,000 miles, only $11,491. A 2017 Chevy Spark with only 17,000 miles for less than $12,000. A 2015 Volkswagen Jetta with less than 21,000 miles for $11,991. Yeah, browse their entire inventory of new and new-to-you cars, trucks, and SUVs online at Landers McCarty Ford of FortPayne.com. Landers McClarty Ford of Fort Payne. If you can't find your next perfect ride, they'll go find it for you. Big city selection, small town prices, friendly service, and top dollar for your trade. The savings are waiting and only a short drive away, so what are you waiting for? Get started with your personalized shopping today at Landers McClarty Ford of FortPayne.com.
Join Nooga Radio and the Gridiron Gang live from 7 to 9 at Starbucks at 10 North on the North Shore. We're talking all things high school football. There's a specialty brew or refresher weekly inspired by the game of the week. Sweet treats, extended hours all season long, and we're pet friendly. Portions of all proceeds support local schools and educational scholarships as well as after-school programs. It's football time in Tennessee. Join us every Thursday live from 7 to 9 at Starbucks, 10 North, your North Shore neighborhood living room.
Your home is a constant work in progress. Repaint the walls? Yeah, easy enough. Leaky faucet? There's a video for that. But roof repair? You might want some help. That's where Chattanooga roofing contractors come in. They have 3 generations of roofing excellence you can count on. Leave the ladder in the garage. Go to chatroofing.com. That's chatroofing.com for Chattanooga Roofing Contractors, a roofing company you can trust. Man, you sure you know what you're doing?
Yeah, I worked with my dad on his truck all the time. Just one more bolt to go.
Yeah, wrong bolt. Today's truck ain't your daddy's truck. For repairs on today's vehicles, you need Amco Transmission and Total Car Care of Chattanooga on Lee Highway. Stay on the road, not in the garage. Amco Transmission on Lee Highway. Get it done the right way. The Thompson Pet way. Yeah, I just put that in.
Join We've Got You Covered with Scott Schrader every Saturday from 10 to 11 on Nuga Radio. From finance to fixtures, we discuss everything you need to know about buying or owning a home, the pitfalls, the perks, and everything in between. Saturday mornings, 10 to 11, right here on Nuga Radio.
Expect mostly sunny, breezy, and hot weather out there through your afternoon. Highs near 90 tonight. Increasing clouds late, lows near 70. For Sunday, lots of clouds, not as warm with a few scattered showers, highs of around 80. Back into the lower to middle 80s on Monday. For lunch or dinner, come to Guthrie's, home of the original golden fried delicious chicken finger with their special world famous sauce. Open daily. Locations in Trenton, Signal Mountain, and Ringgold. Go get Guthrie's. It's always good. And I'm sourcing 12 sheep and deerologist Patrick for
Nuga Radio 92.7.
Good morning. Good people here in the city of Chattanooga. It's your Marie Mott with the Marie Mott Show on the weekend special. Some of the guys from the station are on the Trail of Tears Memorial Drive that they're doing. Oh man, you guys should have been tuning in from September the 14th through the 18th. Make sure you put that on your calendar for next year because they do the ride every single year. But man, I'm here filling in, talking to you, the listener. Wake up. You should be up. Come on. Get you a cup of coffee. Fix you a glass of tea. Some hot tea. A mug of tea. Watch this beautiful sunshine. I love watching the sunshine come in during the fall. Because when you get up, if you wake up early, you can see the sun coming over the horizon. It looks like it's going to be a very beautiful day. And I'm definitely ready for sweater weather. Yes, I'm definitely ready. Good morning. Good morning, Bobby. Oh, man. So we're talking about it. Does the mayor get to do whatever he pleases? And the city council so spineless, so unaccountable, so petty that they'll just approve anything dear Mayor Burke wants. Does anybody fight back and say, you know what, Andy, I like you and everything, even though you never come to the community meetings that we call city council meetings, because, you are a part of the council. But I can't just approve anything that you put on my desk. I need to know where the money is coming from. I need to know if we invest in this thing over here, how it's going to impact this project over here. Good morning. Talk to me.
Yes, good morning.
Good morning.
I just want to let you know that I listen to you as often as I can.
Thank you.
And I wanted to comment on one or two things that you said, why people don't show up at city council meetings.
Please do.
From the last 18 months and what I've seen for myself, some of them are bought over.
Oh.
They're straddling the fence and they're scared to say something. They'll complain amongst themselves about what's not going right, but yet and still getting paid under the table to do some dirt and spy on people.
Ooh-wee.
That's what that is. And also, number two, you said that you don't deal in group talk. That is what the ones who are always complaining about civil rights, that's what they're doing. They feel that going along with a person's corruption, that's glamorous. That these soap operas in this small town has ruined the mind of these people. And that was all I wanted to say. That group talk, I mean to say, it is a damaging epidemic of it.
What is your name, ma'am, if you don't mind me asking?
Johnny Allen.
Johnny, thank you so much for taking the time out of your morning to give me a call.
And I'm so glad you are something special because you are in a dynamic place. You've got the attitude, and it is so perfect, and I can tell we think just alike. Is the reason I'm isolated. Me and my son has been a victim of covert harassment. And what you complain about, that's where I'm getting my damaging from. And I just want to let you go, but to let you know I'm listening.
Thank you.
You're welcome. You're outstanding.
Thank you. Wow. Now, I'm not looking for people to stroke my ego, even though it does feel good when people call and tell me that I'm doing a great job, because I'm not doing this for my benefit. You know what? I could be fishing. I could still be at home in my comfortable memory foam plush top bed. Okay? Keeping it real. I'm just keeping it real. I'm keeping it real. I could be at home chilling with my feet propped up. But even when I'm at home, sometimes you just don't understand. Y'all don't understand what the work. David Toulis is always running around with a law book. Man, people are calling in this morning. Good morning, good morning, good morning. Talk to me.
Yeah, I think part of the problem that people have is they don't want to take the time to understand what the problems are. Mm-hmm. They feel like, okay, I've done my part, I've elected whoever, and then they're going to handle everything.
Mm-hmm.
But the problem, a lot of these people that we elect are the ones that are creating the problems to begin with. So when you look at, I had a conversation with someone earlier this week about college. He's 40 years old. He just graduated with an electrical engineering degree.
Mm-hmm.
And he says that that the cost of college is too high and that the government needs to do something about it. And I asked him, well, why is it that college is so high? Why did it take such a huge, outrageous turn in the cost of education? And he couldn't tell me what it was. But if you go back and you look at it, the rise in college tuition correlates to the federal program. Why this is because when you did this federal student loan program, there's a larger pool of money out there. So therefore, colleges are going to try to get a larger percentage of that pool. So they all raise their rates to get more money out of the pool. Well, now his solution is that Congress should go ahead and cap the price of tuition and do a mandatory cap on the price of what colleges can charge. Well, the problem with that is you're going back to the people who caused the problem in the first place
to fix it,
to have the solution for the problem by putting in some type of federal control. So now they get to create the problem, and now their solution is to give themselves more power to therefore create more problems in the future.
Oh man, if you can see my face, sir, I'm chuckling because people don't understand. The people have to have the power in order to fix the situation.
We're supposed to, but we've given up our power.
We've given it up.
And now we get out here and we think we're being good Americans
by voting
because we're losing our mind over who kneels for the nation's theme song, which, by the way, the founders cared so little about that we never actually had an official national anthem until 1931. It's all smoke and mirrors. It's distractions.
It doesn't even matter. What is your name, sir, if you don't mind me asking?
My name's Scott Schrader.
Scott, you called in earlier. Earlier this week, I believe. Scott.
Yes, and I've got the show today on the air from 10 to 11. We've got you covered.
Oh man, thank you so much, Scott. I appreciate you.
All right, thank you.
You guys, are you listening? Scott is dead on. We think that we're doing something swell. I'm a swell American. You know, we could put on our little patriot hat, a little patriot shirt, And that's the sad part. The sad part is that people talk more about being a patriot than they actually are living about being a patriot. Because what does being a patriot mean? Does being a patriot mean that we just accept whatever is handed to us? Is that a real constitutional republic? That we're going to leave the responsibility of the same people? Let me go back, y'all. So before I go in, because y'all know how easy it is for me to go in. I've talked about it. If you don't have the website logged into your phone, favorite it, go there, strongtowns.org. The growth Ponzi scheme in America, that what we are seeing manifest itself all across this nation is not real, that we have propped up our society. And the fact of the matter is that even the majority of Americans, we've propped up our lives on nothing but credit. How do I know this is true? When the city of Chattanooga will abate $26 million, meaning, let me break that down and make it simple for you. And I said it yesterday. I'm just going to give you guys an example. Imagine a table that has $26 million. I don't even know what that looks like, but I imagine that's a lot of money, and that's a pretty long table. Imagine there's a table with $26 million and Burke and your city council get to stand around it and look at all this money. And they decide that they want to do things in the city of Chattanooga, but they're not going to take any of the money off of this table because they see name tags on the table, such as Blue Cross Blue Shield, Volkswagen. Y'all not ready for me to be real. They see all these businesses that have received pilots, payment in lieu of taxes, which means tax breaks. And they turn around from this table where they could easily take this money and do things for the city of Chattanooga, make investments if they will, because it's nothing wrong with pilots if they're used properly. It's nothing wrong with investing if it's done correctly. It's nothing wrong with government doing these things if it's for the benefit of the people. But they leave this money on the table because, as Demetrius Coonrod would tell me on Facebook, the city council is not a collection agency. They will turn around and they will walk up to you and put their hands into your pocketbook or your wallet and take your money out instead. Are y'all ready for me? Are y'all ready for the truth? Do you even care? To me, that's theft of services. To me, that is corruption. That you're leaving money that is a legally binding agreement. Because whenever you get a pilot or a tax break, you sign a legally binding agreement, which should have clawback provisions. Let me break that down and make that plain, in case you don't know what that is. That is a legal binding agreement within the legal binding document that states that if I do not pay this money back on time, just like we're expected to do, pay our bills on time, pay what we owe on time, that if I do not pay this on time, not only am I penalized, but it's a fine on top of what I already owe. So you're telling me that people who owe the city money, which means that businesses that owe the people money. The city of Chattanooga is not its representatives. The city of Chattanooga is its citizens. Let me say that again in case you did not understand what I just said. The city of Chattanooga is not its department's heads, is not the mayor, is not the city council. The city of Chattanooga is its citizens. So what that means is that the people who we gave tax breaks to are stealing from the people. And they're doing it through our elected officials. Let me just let that sink in for a moment. You are the city of Chattanooga. If you're listening, and you live in the city, you are the city of Chattanooga. Yes, ma'am. Yes, sir. You are the city of Chattanooga. And if somebody owes you money, the word says only the wicked borrow and do not repay. They're borrowing, really, they're stealing money out of our wallets, because the kicker is the same money could have been used for the TIF that was just done for the MLK extension. None of this money went to, again, this is money that continues to get, I want you to think about this. They're leaving money on the table, which in 10 years, this is going to equate to $400 million that they have not collected. Think about that, good people. All of these investments and things that the city of Chattanooga is shifting money here and there, and they're not doing this by collecting money from the people, from the businesses that owe the people, who the only reason they even got to come here and do business, the reason that we squashed a local economy. Y'all not ready for me to get so real on this. We squashed a local economy. We've made it difficult for local people and local businesses and just a small member of the community that has a big dream and a big idea. We've made it difficult for not only for them to be able to get into business, but then to compete. Because all we want to do is have large businesses come here. But the only way that they can do that is if we give them a tax break. You see, we don't want a local economy here in the city of Chattanooga, because then it won't be situations like Bob Corker, who would sell his private land. And the reason that you want to get Walmart on Brainerd Road is so you can sell the land and make some money in the deal. Are y'all ready for me to be real? Transparent? I don't think so. I don't think y'all ready. Part of the reason why a lot of people in the form of businesses, large corporations come here is because we're so desperate to try to get people to come here. And part of it is part of a bigger scheme to really create a wealth gap between those that have and those that do not. Because part of the process of a pilot is not just to get corporations to come here and open up their doors to have jobs, but to have good paying jobs. Meaning that when corporations come here in the forms of places like Amazon that are going to require people to work 10 and 12 hours on their feet doing grueling work so that Jeff Bezos can get rich beyond his wildest imagination, that those people, instead of them making $10 or $11 an hour, which is not enough to live in the state of Tennessee, that they make $15, $17 an hour doing their jobs. If nothing else, because it's worth it, because they're doing grueling work and grueling labor. And we don't get our packages without these people doing this work. By 2020, the U.S. will need so much major investment into infrastructure. We're looking at $3.6 trillion. $3.6 trillion. This is for major infrastructure, such as bridges, railroads, highways. That's not even taking into account smaller infrastructure, such as streets, sidewalks, curbs. $3.6 trillion. Where is this money going to come from? How are we spending our money here at home? Mike Steele was right. As soon as it used to be legitimately, it used to be about 5 o'clock. Correct me if I'm wrong, but it wasn't Bob's land on Brainerd Road, wetlands. Not even gonna get into that, Donnie Rogers. The most important thing was that land belonged to Bob Corker, and then he did. Our politicians, a lot of these. So one of the reasons why it's important for the people to not just hand over their power, right? So I want you guys to think about this, because Elizabeth Baker, who ran for county commission for District 2, which is Signal Mountain, said something that I am never going to forget. She said, I looked at the problems in the city of Chattanooga and I can tie all of the problems. Scott Schrader just said the exact same thing, that the people who create the problems are the same people that we vote for. And then we go back to these same people, begging them and pleading them. And then the majority of the time, 99% of the time, they're not even going to do it. We then expect these same people, who are 9 times out of 10, the majority of them are corrupt, not play. I think it was last year or year before last. Tennessee is the third most corrupt state in the nation. Yeah. You wonder how some of these politicians get super rich? Because you don't have any clue of the backdoor deals and different things like that. Christopher Dahl, that's my bro. Christopher Dahl went to city council this past Tuesday. And we can only speak twice a month, which is unconstitutional. I'm not going to let that go. Unconstitutional. Christopher Dahl stated that, and it's true, a lot of the meetings that happen about Chattanooga's business, we don't find out about until the decision has legitimately already been made. And then you can just look. You look at the agenda, and you got to show up to city council to see this. The city council agendas are filled with land deals. And the question that I often have is who gets to decide all of this that happened? And why are the people not involved in this process? And then it gets voted on with little people who are even at the city council meetings, because the majority of people are so tired of just no representation and people constantly lying to us that when they do get in these seats, that they're going to be different than the people before. When the reality is a lot of them didn't even show you that before they even got up to run. $3.6 trillion. The average American has $137,000 in debt. 73% of consumers are in debt in these United States of America. So how are we building all of these things? And who is going to pay for it? Our children, your child, your small children, your small grandchildren, they're going to pay for this. Y'all ready to be real? It's Marie Mott with the Marie Mott Show. I'm going to be on for another hour, so continue to tune in. We're going to continue talking about things that are going on in the city of Chattanooga. Why? Because this is where we live. If we don't take care of where we live, hang it up. The people have all the power. I believe that. I know that. But do you know that? And are you willing to assert the power that has already been given to you? Stay tuned for the second hour of the Marie Mott Show.
3, 2, 1.
Chattanooga Radio. Digital FM 95.3 HD4. 92.7 FM's news now.
A special thanks to our brave first responders working through some terrible conditions. This includes Tennessee linemen ready for action as Florence slams the coast. Close to 200 elected linemen from across the state of Tennessee are on their way to the coast. The various municipalities involved include Athens, Murfreesboro, and Tullahoma. Airbnb offering short-term vacation rentals for free to evacuees through its Open Homes program. The offer will end October 1st. If you're visiting from an affected area, just check your app. And a judge this week denied a death row inmate's efforts to block his October 11th execution by reviving a federal lawsuit. The move brings added urgency to a separate lethal injection challenge pending with the Tennessee Supreme Court, reports the Tennessean. Edmund Zagorski set to be executed. He's convicted of shooting and slitting the throats of his victims in Robertson County. Val St. John for Nooga Radio, News Talk 92.7, Action News now.
Chattanooga Morning News with Russ and Val. Weekdays from 6 to 9 a.m. on Nooga Radio, 92.7 FM.
Nooga Radio, Chattanooga weather.
Expect mostly sunny, breezy, and hot weather out there through your afternoon. Highs near 90 tonight. Increasing clouds late, lows near 70. For Sunday, lots of clouds, not as warm, with a few scattered showers, highs of around 80. Back into the lower to middle 80s on Monday. For lunch or dinner, come to Guthrie's, home of the original golden fried delicious chicken finger with their special world famous sauce. Open daily. Locations in Trenton, Signal Mountain, and Ringgold. Go get Guthrie's. It's always good. And I'm sourcing 12 sheep and deerologist Patrick Moore.
Nooga Radio 92.7.
Whether you have marginal, moderate, or even extensive hair loss, you don't have to live with it. Finally, there's a procedure that becomes a part of you, and it requires no daily maintenance or special care. Let Apollo Hair Systems give you a free hair and scalp analysis today. Call 423-803-1011 and schedule this free evaluation today. Open Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday from 9 a.m. to 6 p.m. Friday and Saturday, 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. Apollo Hair Systems, 5512 Ringgold Road in Chattanooga. 423-803-1011 for Apollo Hair Systems.
Hi, this is Eric Pelton with EJ Pelton Company. There are new tax changes for businesses. Smart